Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Karen.
And I'm Mike, and we're in day 3, our last day of our look at wildlife tourism. Traveling for the animals, going around the world, not to visit zoos maybe, but to meet the animals where they live in the wild. We've talked about safaris in Africa. Whale watching in the oceans around the world. There's lots of great places you can get up close and personal with wildlife. So Karen, if you were thinking of your ultimate animal experience, your ultimate wildlife tourism trip, where would you like to go?
Well, I think the one that you mentioned, when you went to Kenya, and I think, going to safari, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't sound that dangerous either, because I would like to be safe. I want to enjoy looking at the animals, but I don't want to put my life at risk.
That is a good point.
That's right. And also, I love to go dolphin and whale watching because I think they are so adorable. But I know some people who are really adventurous. They want to go shark diving. They want to go swimming with the sharks. I can't really do that. Can you?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I don't mind watching people do it on TV, but I might be a little bit afraid or just wanting to get out of the water. I'm not sure that one's for me. One I would like to do, and I think it would be interesting, but maybe also a little bit sad, is to go up to the north of Canada and see polar bears. You can go to Churchill in Canada, that's a town in the north of Canada, and see polar bears. They're beautiful animals, right? Very large, biggest bear in the world, but a little sad because we hear that as the world warms up, polar bears are in trouble. They're losing a lot of the ice that they live on. So be good, but also be sad. But maybe, maybe we should do this. Maybe it would make us appreciate them more.
That's true. And maybe we can do something to help the polar bears, right?
Exactly right.
And I also love the koalas as well.
Oh, yeah. Australia, I think you can hold koalas. I've seen people doing that. If you love those cute little, they're not bears, right? Those cute little koalas. We'll just call them koalas. All right, guys, let's get back to the article. Part 3, wildlife tourism, traveling for the animals. For some, wildlife tourism is a good thing. It allows them to see and learn how wild animals behave. Their fees help run the animal places too. Without that, the places wouldn't be able to save animals and keep them alive. Also, wildlife tourism helps the local economies. For others, though, it does more harm than good.
So today we are looking at part 3 of wildlife tourism, traveling for the animals, right? We've been learning quite a lot about this type of tourism.
Yes, we have. It's really interesting. It kind of gets you away from the zoos and aquariums, the places we normally see wild animals. And I think not only would you see the animals, get some great photographs, I think you also learn a lot more about some of the challenges and problems these animals face. And in many ways, a lot of the money you might be spending on wildlife tourism may really help a lot of the animals you are traveling to see.
So let's learn about it. For some, wildlife tourism is a good thing. It allows them to see and learn how wild animals behave. Their fees help run the animal places too. And that's what you were talking about before. It's not only for yourself. It's not only for your personal pleasure, how you enjoy it, but the money that you pay for this can actually help the animals too.
Exactly right. Of course, at an animal rescue center, the money you're paying might buy food for the animals in the center. But even on a safari in the middle of Africa, many of those animals are in a national park, and they need scientists, they need doctors, they need wardens there to protect the animals from hunters. shelters. So still, your money is helping to pay the people whose job it is to keep the animals safe for us and for the future.
Exactly. And when you do that, you go to see the animals, you get to see, how they behave.
That's true. It's very different from in a zoo. Very
exactly.
different.
They really get to be themselves.
Yeah.
So behave, that is a verb. So that just means to act in a particular way. For example, how they drink water, how they interact, how they socialize with each other, and then how long they sleep, and then how many hours they stay awake. And these are all different types of behavior, right?
Exactly right. And the whole time, the guides and people are teaching you things, you're learning information. It's a really great day when you're there. Without that, as we read on, it says, without that, the tourists and the money they spend, without that, the places wouldn't be able to save animals and keep them alive, because this costs money, often lots of money, and I guess they can get some from the government or people can just give it to them. But if they can have tourists come, have a great day, spend some money, and help their plans for the future at the rescue center, everyone wins. And of course, they need money to keep these animals alive. If something is alive, it is living. It is moving around. It is breathing. Its heart is beating. Its eyes are open. The opposite, of course, would be dead, not alive. So we want these animals to be alive. We don't want to just look at models of them in a museum or pictures of them in a book. We want to see them out there living their life, walking around alive.
That's right. So whenever we see animals that are endangered, we always want to do our best. We want to do our part to help these animals, right?
Very important.
Also, wildlife tourism helps the local economies. And that is definitely true because the money that you put inside, it helps them, take care of the animals, and then it pays the workers who work there, right?
Very true. And a lot of these places are out in the forest, away from the cities. It might be hard to find good jobs there for many of the local people. So having an animal rescue center where they can work and make money, have a job, that is good for local people. If you go to a foreign country, you are not a local person. A local person would be a person who calls that place home. So in your city where you live, you are a local person. If I'm lost in a new city, I might try to find a local person to tell me how to find my way. They live there. That's their home. This is their neighborhood. They are local people, and this is their local place that they live. Their home.
Exactly. And we're also looking at this word economy because we're talking about how this would help the local economy. Economy, that is a noun. It basically just means how people make and spend money. And the word local economy refers to how people spend and make money in a small town or city. So if the economy is good, a lot of people have jobs and they get paid very well. Whereas economy is bad, a lot of people might be losing their jobs or their salaries might be very, very low.
Exactly right. Everyone needs a job, and a good paying job is better than the alternative. For others, though, it says it does more harm than good. So yes, like anything complicated in the world, animal tourism is both a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing for both the people, but also more importantly for the animals. So after the break, we'll look at some of the downsides of animal tourism. Be interesting? Let's come back for that. Some animal places treat their animals bad. They hit the animals, keep them in small cages, and make them do tricks for tourists. What do you think? Is wildlife tourism good or bad?
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we were talking about wildlife tourism and how it helps us to learn about the animals' behavior. And by going on these tours, we always have these special guides to explain everything that we need to know about these animals. And actually, by going on these tours, it helps the local economy as well, right?
Absolutely. It can be really good for the local economy and bring in lots of money. But like any other thing that involves a lot of money, sometimes people cheat just to make the money, and they're not really doing business in the honest and best way. And that, of course, is also true with these animal rescue centers or places where we get wildlife experiences. As the article says next, some animal places treat their animals bad. That's right, they're more worried about making money and bringing in people, tourists, than they are really about taking care of the animals. What would you find there? It says they hit the animals, keep them in small cages, and make them do tricks for tourists. So this is where an animal rescue center starts to look more like a circus, where the animals are being trained to do tricks. Often to train an animal, they might hit the animal so it does the right thing. And of course, locking the animals in a cage might be okay in a zoo, but not in a place where the animals are supposed to be living in a natural, wild way.
And it's always sad to see animals being kept in cages because they lose the freedom, right? So cage, that is a noun. Basically, it's like a structure made from like wire or metal, and then you can lock little animals or sometimes large animals inside where you stop them from going out and to different places. So like we said, in the zoo, sometimes the animals might be kept in cages. And I really don't like seeing animals in cages.
No, but in a zoo, the animals are very close together. People are nearby. It's for safety. But of course, in the wild, animals should never be kept in cages.
That's right. Okay, so what do you think? Is wildlife tourism good or bad? Mike, what do you think?
Well, I think generally it's a good thing. I mean, the world is in trouble with nature, right? Too many animals are dying out. I think this kind of thing, getting people close to the animals, learning about them, learning about how global warming and stuff is affecting the animals, can be good for people. People who live in the city, who might never experience a real elephant, for example. I think it's good. And the nice thing is, if you want to stay away from the bad businesses that treat the animals in a not so good way, the internet is a wonderful thing. You can find out about places, look at reviews, see who's doing the job well, who's doing it badly. I would definitely suggest doing that, because you want to make sure that when you go far away and spend lots of money, of your own money, to see these animals, you want to be sure the money is going to good people who are doing good things for the animals and not just to, greedy business people or something like that. Thanks for joining us, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other and the animals. And we'll see you back here very soon. Until then, all the best and bye-bye.
See you guys next time.
For some, wildlife tourism is a good thing. It allows them to see and learn how wild animals behave. Their fees help run the animal places too. Without that, the places wouldn't be able to save animals and keep them alive. Also, wildlife tourism helps the local economies. For others, though, it does more harm than good. Some animal places treat their animals bad. They hit the animals, keep them in small cages, and make them do tricks for tourists. What do you think? Is wildlife tourism good or bad?
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 behave 动词表现形式。They behaved as if nothing had happened. 他们表现得好像什么也没有发生过一样。As if 指的是好像、似乎、仿佛。下一个单字 alive 形容词活着的。The author is still alive and living in Australia. 那位作家仍活着，目前住在澳洲。Author 指的是作家。下一个单字 local 形容词当地的、在地的。The local market sells fresh foods and vegetables. 当地的市场贩卖新鲜的水果和蔬菜。最后一个单字 cage 名词笼子。A lion has escaped from its cage. 一只狮子从笼子里逃了出来。Escape 指的是逃脱、逃离。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 somebody learns how 加上主词加动词，某人学习什么的方式。how 所引导的子句是 learn 的受词。我们来看看这个例句。Gina is learning how cats communicate with each other. Gina 正在学习猫咪如何互相沟通。Communicate 指的是沟通。下一个文法 do more harm than good. 弊大于利。Harm 指的是伤害、损害。Good 指的是好处、益处。在这里，它们都是名词。我们来看看这个例句。The new policy did more harm than good. 这个新政策弊大于利。最后一个文法 do a trick 耍特技。Trick 是特技的意思。我们来看看这个例句。Henry did a trick that amazed everyone at the table. Henry 耍了一个特技，让餐桌上的每个人都大吃一惊。Amaze 指的是使大为惊奇。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hello, today we are taking a look at Weiwu Mimi Village. And any trip there, you should definitely go and see the 3D bookcase painting. Now, what does it mean if something is 3D? In Chinese, you say 3D, but what does that mean? Well, it means that there's 3 dimensions. And a dimension is like a measurement. So here we have width, which means how wide something is. And then we have the height, how high something is, and the depth, how deep something is. So those are the 3 dimensions that make this 3D or 3-dimensional. So let's take a look. Weiwu Mimi Village is near Weiwu MRT station. Weiwu Village used to be an old neighborhood, but now it is the largest street area in Taiwan. The colorful wall paintings are made by artists from all around the world. You can't miss the huge 3D bookcase painting. Visitors are excited and happy to see all the works. Weiwu Mimi Village is full of surprises. Wow, the largest street art area in all of Taiwan. I haven't been there yet. How about you? If you haven't, it's a great place to take some pictures and make sure you check in on social media. And hey, maybe I'll see you there.